is on motives for status consumption and empirical investigation based on semi-urban women consumers in supermarket settings in Sri Lanka. The authors of the paper, MMN Swarnamali, AM Perera, UK Jayasinghe-Mudalige, JMM Udugama, HMLK Herath, TPSR Guruge, and JC Edirisinghe. The paper will be presented by MMN Swarnamali.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Ms. Nisansala Swarnamali, representing the YB University of Sri Lanka, and I'm here to share my research experience with you. My research topic is motives for status consumption and empirical investigation based on semi-urban women consumers in supermarket settings in Sri Lanka. This is the content of my presentation. Let's move on to the introduction. Status consumption. What comes onto your mind with this statement? Actually, the status consumption is an interesting factor in the consumer behavior. Although the scholars have defined it in many ways, the simple definition is the consumption of luxury goods and services at higher prices by the consumers to display their status. According to the literature, the status consumption has five consumer motives, such as conformist motive, hedonic motive, quality motive, status motive, and the uniqueness motive. Let us look at them one by one. The conformist motive. This is the consumer's desire to present their social class to others by engaging shopping in famous supermarkets. The hedonic motive. This means that the desire of individuals to experience positive feelings and their emotional feelings by engaging shopping in supermarkets. Quality motive, the consumers desire to experience high levels of quality, technical superiority, and the performance levels of product which they buy from supermarkets are being considered from this motive. Status motive, the consumers try to improve their social standing through being a status consumptive or non-status consumptive at supermarkets. That is being measured through this motive. The uniqueness motive, consumers are always like to differentiate from others, being a supermarket customer. They would like to demonstrate their uniqueness through the consumption of supermarkets. According to the literature, again, the women consumers are naturally a kind of living beings who would like to engage in status consumption. So this study especially focuses on women consumers with the 5 motives of status consumption. When considering women consumers, the 2 aspects such as being a credit card usage and their shopping frequency were considered. The objectives of this research. First one is to investigate why women consumers engage in status consumption, and to discover whether their demographics can be used to predict motivation for status consumption, and to discover whether there is a relationship between shopping frequency and their credit card usage. Methodology. The 5 motives of status consumption was chosen as to serve as the base for theoretical formulation, and also the credit card usage and shopping frequency also being considered. As the study basically deals with the psychometric values of consumers, a set of statements were used to reflect each motive of status consumption. Therefore, a factor analysis was performed to test the validity and the reliability of those statements. These are the resulted factor loading. Once the statements are validated, a motivational factor index was derived for each motive. The responses given for each motives were considered to reflect the extent to which each consumer perceives the motives of status consumption. Those are ranged from 0 to 1. This is the motivational factor index that is derived from those statements. And also, due to the dichotomous nature of the two dependent variables, such as being a credit card user and a frequent shopper, the probit regression technique was used to estimate the coefficients of variables included in the model, and this is the regression equation. These are the variables used. Data collection was done by a structured questionnaire-based survey using 200 women consumers in supermarkets in Northwestern Province during April to May 2014. The survey instrument consisted 8 demographic questions and 20 statements under each 5 motives. Those are arranged into a 5-point Likert scale. The data analysis was done by Starter version 11. The factor analysis and probit regression were done. Results and discussion. This is the most important part of this presentation. First of all, the descriptive statistics are considered. These are the age groups in the sample and the educational levels and the income distribution of the sample. By considering all those demographic factors, the quality motive obtained the highest value. And also these are the motivational factor index values. They are also the quality motive obtained the highest value. The chi-square test was performed to identify whether there is a relationship between the credit card users and their shopping frequency. The test resulted a chi-square of 8.094 and p-value of 0.004. Therefore, according to the results, it can be said that there is an association between credit card users and frequent shoppers. These are the differences of motivational factor index values among credit card users and non-users. Here also, quality motive always obtain the highest value. According to the p-values are not significantly different, it is understandable that credit card usage is not a sign of status consumption in this sample. These are the differences of motivational factor index values among frequent shoppers and non-frequent shoppers. According to that value, the p-values are significantly different. Therefore, it can be said that frequent shoppers are a sign of status consumption. A probit regression is performed for the credit card usage. These are the results of the probit regression. They are the income category tree obtained the 0.000 p-value at 95% confidence levels, and also the probit regression for shopping frequency. They are also the income category 2 and 3 obtained the 0.002 and 0.00 at 95% confidence levels. According to the probit regression results, it can be said that there was no such influence for the status consumption other than the income of women consumers. These are the conclusions of this research. The status consumption of women consumers is encouraged by all 5 motivational factors, while the quality motive appear more influential than other motives. And also the hedonic motive and uniqueness motive obtained the second and third influential factors. Further, the income level of women consumers is the most dependent factor for status consumption. And also the credit card users and frequent shoppers are significantly correlated. I would like to acknowledge these people. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.